So Penfolds obviously best known for their red wines, best known for Grange. Time to move reds. And firstly, we've got Mel talking about the Kalimna, the Bin 28 from 2018.
So Kalimna for me is like, I was trying to work out whether it's like a second cousin or an uncle that you love and you don't see very often. It's a reliable name, you know, that Kalimna. You think you know what's going to be in the bottle. Coming from restaurants, we tend to be this fairly snobbish about American oak. And with Penfolds, you're going to expect it, obviously. And I think that I'm always on high alert. But really with this, I loved it. I thought it was delicious. I thought it was like a really big, juicy explosion of fruits of the forest, oak in balance. Obviously, there's the sweetness from the American oak, but it was in balance for me. On the nose, it was the cocoa and the chocolate, all kind of savory, sweety notes. And on the palate, I thought it was super chewy, savory, fruit-driven. On initial, it was like dusty tannins, but they kind of grew on you. Yeah, I thought it was just a really delicious drink. I think if you spent $50 on that, you'd be happy.
And score?
Score, I think, you know, for me, it was probably like a 93, 94 maybe. Yep. But I think that someone who buys Kalimna wants it to be like that, and they'll take it home that night, and it will not disappoint.
I reckon this wine's going to be a little bit controversial. Dissenters? Any dissenters in there? Mr. Love, you look ready to talk.
I will dissent a little bit purely in the context of drinking it next to the Bin 128, sure. Which is the Coonawarra Shiraz. But I'll go back to Kalimna. 9 regions in South Australia, you know, so it is, for me, it's just now a kind of a caricature South Australian wine, Shiraz. I don't see much in terms of regional import or regional kind of character in it, which is fair enough. It's just a South Australian blended Shiraz now. I mean, I loved all the little things in the middle with the chocolatey bits and the Kenoto and a chocolate mousse and all those kind of secondary elements. But I just didn't think it had a great personality in that sense. I just thought it was a thing they made to, you know, follow Kalimna, the name Kalimna, but it's not Barossa, it's 9 regions. I gave it 93 points as well, but in context, I gave the Bin 128 Coonawarra Shiraz 95 points. I just thought that was a fabulous, cooler climate looking style of Shiraz. And I just thought it was a much more interesting wine in this release.
Yeah. What about you, Erin?
I was actually just looking at my note then to see what I wrote, and I literally wrote that the oak choice gives us a polishing body that makes it instantly recognisable as both Penfolds and South Australia, but it speaks of no specific place. So I thought it was very well done. It was high class. It's a style, no worries, beautiful. Not my style. I felt it was a bit much, but I was still 93 on it, which is very good. I mean, it's a brilliant wine. It just wasn't in my preference.
I found this wine a bit like fruity. I think it just suddenly, you just open your Chinotto, I think, kind of suddenly there's explosive blueberry fruits that was just kind of sweet. And to be honest, I was left a little disappointed by it. I only gave it 91. I just thought it was a nice, attractive South Australian Shiraz. But in terms of the line, this very proud line, I just thought it was not quite what I was hoping for, to be honest. But I mean, a warm year, obviously, and I think it suffered from that. Right, you?
Well,
Kenny, you seem to be like
scoffing.
Losing.
No, I'm not scoffing. I would never scoff. I actually also gave it 93, but unlike Tony, my 93 meant I liked it. Last year, I remember. Oh, sorry, things going everywhere. Last year, I remember when we looked at them, I thought that was one of the better 128s I'd seen, and I had them both about par. This time, I had. I mean, the 128 I thought was fine. It was down. I had it down at 89, but I had this at 93. I thought it was a much more enjoyable wine, more expression. Sure, it's not regional as such, but what Tony was saying really intrigued me because I get that same sort of attitude with 407. I just don't see the point of 407. It's all over the place. It's muddled. It's way overpriced, I think. But I know we're not talking about 407 at the moment, but To me, I thoroughly enjoyed the 28. I don't think we're talking about it, but if we were, the one I really loved of that sort of price range was the 138. I thought that was just a bottle of joy. I'd drink that every night. I think I had 95 or something for that. I just loved it.
I often like that wine. Very much.
Always like that wine. Exactly, it's delicious. Has there ever been a bad one?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Well, I'll can you step outside, Ken, and I'll fight you on that one.
You didn't like the 138?
I didn't. I usually love 138. It's one of my favourite wines in the collection every year. This year, I thought it was nowhere near up to par. I thought it was a tough, hard struggle to drink.
Oh, Kenny. Oh, that's
you have tarmac for taste buds.